Alongside Aaron Ward and Shane Kelly, I'm Irfaan Gaffar. We like to call this segment Dirty Data. Gentlemen, a matchup that we really like heading into this weekend, and it's two teams, Aaron, the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks, that are kind of going in opposite directions, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely shocking if you thought coming into the season we're going to have a discussion about how Buffalo is a preeminent favorite in the game against Vancouver. Buffalo right now, to look at them, it's a bit of a head scratcher. You got to dive deep and look at it and start to understand exactly what's going on. Tuck, Thompson, Skinner, you would assume that the top line was driving everything. Skinner's got 1 point total on the season after 4 games. It is honestly just a melting pot of players out there up front that seem to be doing all of the work. Back end, truth be told, I mean, if Dahlin can keep up this pace, we're going to have a bronze bust made for him relatively soon, having scored basically at a pace of 1 per game. But overall, I mean, you look at it and you think to yourself, you got a 41-year-old goaltender back there. Tandem's okay. The D-core seemingly is doing very well. They've just played Calgary and Edmonton, probably the best 2 teams in Western Canada right now, and handled them, outscored them 10-5. I think the credit has to go to Granato. I think he made inroads last year with this group from a culture standpoint of getting them to believe in themselves and playing systematically the way he wants them to. So it's effective. And it's not like they played 2 other, lesser teams. They played Florida, their only loss, and Ottawa is showing themselves to be competitive. So it's been a good start for Buffalo.
Yeah, for the first time, I think in a long time, this team looks like it might be middle of the road, and that kind of sounds like damning with faint praise. But honestly, they've been so bad for so long that getting to respectability is a huge step up for this organization. You talk culturally. I totally get it. And the nice thing is, the numbers back it up. It's not a murderer's row like you talked about. It's kind of by committee, but they are right around 50% expected goals. Their goaltending has, a 41-year-old and Comrie, they've been amongst the best tandems in the league. They're saving about 6 more goals than the average goaltending tandem would right now. So big ups to them. And then on the back end, Dahlin has taken his game to another level offensively. I don't think he's ever going to be a shutdown defender, but if he can drive offense from the back end as effectively as he has been, and he's leading the league in chances created by defensemen, in expected goals by defensemen, in expected assists by defensemen, and in primary assists. If he could keep that up, it doesn't necessarily matter too much that their forward core is kind of struggling to find a superstar, because you could just rely on him.
Gentlemen, now let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks, the only team in the National Hockey League, Aaron, without a win. Why is that?
Well, I think we segue perfectly from Shane talking about the greatness of the Buffalo Sabres D-core to the absolute.
One player.
I don't think the thesaurus has enough words to describe what's going on here. It's an absolute, you can't put words to it.
Tire fire,
dumpster fire, tire fire. It's tough to understand because you look at this group and you think to yourself that last year there's going to be an opportunity to step off of what they were doing, the direction Boudreau took them, and they were going to excel. Problem now is we look at the D-core, and I imagine that the forwards in Vancouver are looking back at that D-core and asking, what the hell have you got going right now? Truth is, there's a lot of pressure on Quinn Hughes to direct this team, and he's not a Cale Makar. He's an offensively gifted guy. Great skating, can neutralize and catch up and create some adversity, but he's not a guy that can totally change the course of a game, especially in his D zone. And let's be honest, I mean, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is physically there, but I got to check to see if he's mentally there. He has been abysmal. This is a group that right now, I mean, if you're Demko, you're hoping just for someone to show up and be present in front of them. So this Vancouver team can score some goals. But I'm not a forward. I'm thinking to myself, man, I got to tone back how I play my game because I got to help out back there. After X number of games, this team has been an absolute struggle to understand from a defensive standpoint, defensive core standpoint. I don't think Bruce Boudreau has enough dirty ties for all the barbecue sauce he's spilling on it and in his chaos of trying to figure out what's going on back there.
Well, I don't know if that's worse than me calling them an AHL level D-core coming into the season outside of Quinn Hughes, but that was impressive. The numbers back it up. They are giving up the 3rd most chances in the NHL this year. Their expected goals is the 3rd worst. their distance, their average shot distance against is the fourth worst. Demko hasn't been what he needed to be for this team to be successful either. Among starters, he's 30th in the NHL right now in high danger save percentage. Guess who's giving up among the most high danger scoring chances? The Canucks. But the forward core hasn't been bad. They've created a ton of chances. They're top 10 in just about every metric we can look at. So I don't know where they go with such a bad D-core, but Irf, you were in Vancouver when OEL was traded for. That was panned in the analytics community, and it hasn't turned out any better than we thought it would.
Well, wait.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't really want.
Irf, 58% penalty kill. If you're a Vancouver Canuck fan, basically when you show up to that building, you're already down. If you take an average of 4 to 5 penalties a game, you're already down a goal and a half to 2 before the game starts at that rate. So you ain't fixing anything when your special teams look that bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into OEL or the contract or what everyone thinks about him right now. But Wardo, from a player's perspective, just very quickly, last one from us here. They've already had a players-only meeting a few games into this season. You still haven't had a win. Your home opener is this weekend. Like, what's going on? What's the psyche of a player?
Exasperation. Well, I went through this in 2010. I got traded from Boston to Carolina, high expectations, and I think we got into the 12 games of the season, we had maybe a win. I mean, it's exhausting because here's the truth. Behind closed doors, you're having player-only meetings. Then management's getting involved, and they're trying to create team unity, team harmony, so they take you out to dinner. You got to see the same faces of the guys you're losing with in that locker room. You want to get away from it. It's a very bad environment. You have to formulate some artificial positivity to build off of, and when it's this bad, it's very hard to find.
I will say, if Demko finds himself and becomes the goalie he was last year, in a month, we could be having a totally different conversation.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much for this. It's a tale of two teams going in different directions. The Buffalo Sabres looking to remain hot, while the Vancouver Canucks are looking to get their first win of this season.